Hello, hello, hello out there. What a good day to be alive. Welcome to ICIOUS. This is my second show. I'm your host with the most, Reggie Saunders. And ICIOUS is everything about soul, which means soul music, soul clothes, soul food, and most definitely soul attitude. And today we're going to be talking about many different things, many aspects, many areas of soul that you may not have been, you may not have understood, you may not have, known that existed, but we're going to reveal a few things today. So, my next guest, ladies and gentlemen, is coming all the way, born from Chile, but hails all the way from the land down under, from the land that made Vegemite actually a delicacy, something that they actually eat. We're going to get into that a little bit too. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give a warm virtual round of applause for Rodrigo Aravena. Roddy, I call him Roddy. Call him Roddy.
Of course.
Roddy.
Hi everyone, how you doing?
Roddy, how you feeling, my man?
Pretty good.
I feel like this has been like a long time coming. We've
Yeah.
been doing this.
We kind of do these anyway, just without the microphones.
Absolutely,
But,
absolutely.
basically the same setup.
We're gonna reveal some things. So, as you know, the name of the show is called ICIOUS, and
I do know very well, yes.
we're gonna be talking about. I'd like to delve a little bit into you about what into, not in that way, but
All right.
what into in ways of how soul has really maybe formed your life or formed your way of thinking.
Right.
Talk to me a little bit about Chile. I don't know if it started there or if it started in Australia. Let me know.
Sure. Well, I think it started with, definitely in Chile. It started with my family, actually.
Okay.
My dad was, a bit of a jazz drummer. I think more of a hobby musician. But my two older brothers definitely played music.
Okay.
Instruments as well as music around the house. And it was really that made it all happen. Because it was stuff that was not being played on the radio at the time so much.
Okay.
And I'm talking also quite varied selection.
Okay.
From Hendrix and Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple to James Brown, Marvin Gaye, Earth, Wind and Fire, one of my favorites, to of course a lot of jazz. Miles, Coltrane, all the 50s and 60s stuff basically. It came also not all at once, in waves. As they discovered something new,
right.
I did too. And they're about 10 and 8 years older than me. So 18, 16, I was 8. So I was just soaking it all up.
Okay.
And I started with the drums.
I was about to ask you that. Was your first instrument the bass?
No, it was the drums.
Wow.
Which I'm very grateful to have done, because I've done a lot of teaching since, and I've discovered that usually the musicians that have really good time are the ones that either play drums or percussion or just did something. There's a difference between thinking about a rhythm, but physically having to tap it onto something.
Exactly.
Especially syncopated stuff, which in soul and funk is, it's necessary.
Very necessary.
To say the least. So then I played alto saxophone for a while, then tenor.
Okay.
And then the bass came into my life, and it seemed to sort of, I guess, marry both these, my harmonic sense plus this rhythmic. But I feel like I'm still a drummer at heart. Like when I go into a club and check out a band, the very first thing I see automatically, without thinking, is the drummer. It's like, check this
really?
dude out.
Okay. You look at the drummer before you look at the bass or anything else.
So if I hear that, I go, yeah, so that's cool.
It's worth staying.
Then I can begin scanning the rest of the band, But up until that point.
That's interesting because it brings me to the point of how I see you. When I first heard you, and we had discussed this before previously, that I heard this bass playing that I had never heard before.
Right.
And of the same types of songs that I'd heard played before, but I'd never heard somebody play it in that way. It was as if you had written the songs yourself. And
nice.
And as I put in the on the Facebook page and also on Instagram, and I really mean this truthfully, you are definitely the most in Europe, and one of the most in the world that I played with. You're definitely one of the most versatile bass players I've ever had the pleasure of meeting, and I really, really mean that. And you're gonna show some of your skills today, and I'm
Thanks
sure some of you out there.
The pressure's on now.
I'm sure some of you out there.
Thanks for that. Drinks are on me.
Right. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that. So okay, Chile.
Really?
Were you in bands there, or
No, I was way too young. I think it was really Melbourne that.
So everything really started.
Yeah.
Really going out on stage and doing things, or trying out different things.
Exactly.
Okay.
And lucky for me, I mean, Melbourne still is a fantastic music city.
Okay.
But at the time, it was really going off, as we say.
Okay.
So I'm talking about the late 80s, early 90s, when I was still in high school.
Right.
And we used to go and see bands all the time with my brothers and fantastic musicians. I was lucky enough, of course, when I was very young, starting out, some of the people that I saw from the distance, kind of older, more accomplished musicians.
Right.
In time, I ended up playing with some of these guys, Cool. So it was great. I had a really good run. And also I was part of a few projects that I'm still super, I don't want to say proud, that's not the word. It's more like whenever I think about it, it just gives me like a warm, fuzzy feeling kind of thing.
I understand.
Oh, sorry, that was Mike. No, so it was great. And just one more point, I know I'm talking a lot.
Go ahead.
No, you mentioned versatile. That was actually something that has helped me quite a bit in terms of being able to make a living playing music.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, if I was, for example, just a jazz bass player, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, I just mean like if that was my main thing, sometimes jazz gigs are thin on the ground.
Exactly.
And it's not so easy to just...
Right.
But I had this curiosity about different things, different styles of music, genres, and that came pretty much from my brothers, They would just play stuff, like Afro-Cuban, and Brazilian and stuff from whatever. And so, and then as I started branching out and playing, I would meet people. I remember one time, when I was at college in first year, one of my really good friends is a bass player. There's a huge Greek population in Melbourne.
Okay.
So he was Greek Australian, born in Australia, and he was doing a lot of these Greek clubs. And he was going back to Greece for a year, so he basically gave me all these gigs. And I had to learn all this stuff. And it was super scary at first, all the different time signatures, that seven, like that kind of stuff, right? So I wrote everything out, of course, me. So no way I'm going to memorize that. It was like a whole other world. And then I became really good friends with some of the Greek guys. Then I was playing in a band from Senegal, and then I was playing with these musicians from Japan. And so before I knew, it was like a musical curiosity, of course.
Right.
I really, but I wanted to really delve into this, not just like casually play, like really understand. And,
exactly. Can I ask how old were you at that time?
This is all in my 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were already.
Yeah,
right.
I started playing the bass when I was almost 18. And then...
Really? That late?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, the way you play, I thought you were like this prodigy child.
I know, I'm so amazing.
You guys are gonna see that. He's not lying. He's
digging myself into
and
a
also,
hole.
Also, you have one thing you'll also learn about Roddy. I call him Roddy. You call him Rodrigo until you get the opportunity to meet him
Rodrigo.
and ask him exactly. He is very humorous, and I really love that side of you. That you, and that was the first thing that attracted me to you. Before I heard your bass playing, even I saw you sit down. It almost came at the same time. It was like you were sitting down and you were like so deep, and you were like, I met you in this dark place in Switzerland called Das Haus. And some of you may know it, that live in Switzerland. And you were sitting back and you were just like, boom, 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 boom. And I walked in, it was a jam session. And I believe you were running the jam at that time. And so I'm in and I'm saying, man, it's like the place was packed with people. Only thing I heard was you. I just heard you grooving. I said, I'm sure he knows some of the stuff I know. We have to know something. And I said, even if he doesn't, if he just plays something, I want to be on the stage with this person. I don't care if I don't play with anybody else that night. I want to be on the stage with you. And so, as you know, I'm not a shy guy. So
no, you came on the stage right up to me. I remember.
Right, absolutely, right on the stage, and I said, "Hey, you know this, you know that." I don't even know if we said hi. Maybe we said just the hi was just the connection of the music.
Sure.
And we just started playing and started grooving, and all of a sudden, hey, we exchanged phone numbers, and you know the rest is history.
Right.
But going back to your playing the bass, I know playing the drums you started, but playing the bass though. What would you say that you developed when you developed the most? Was it in Melbourne or was it in Switzerland? I know Switzerland you played maybe more, but did you feel that you like developed more in?
I really obviously the how should I call it, the first years are super important. That's when you just you know, everything is going in and you forming all your sort of, whether you know it or not, subconsciously, your concepts and your ideas and the stuff that you like, and you're like a filter. You just throw stuff, you know.
There you go. And you have to be receptive to it in order
for
it to...
Sure, but I always was, naturally. I was super curious about, if somebody was doing something that I hadn't checked out before, I was like, all concentration.
Right.
But the whole development thing, hopefully it's still ongoing.
There you go.
It hasn't stopped.
There you go. There you go.
And the bass didn't make sense to me at first because I had so many harmonic ideas. I wanted to play melodies.
Exactly.
But then it did. After a while, I realized, of course, it's the drummer thing. Right. And as you well know, I mean, bringing it back to soul music now, especially most of the stuff that's the really what we call the iconic historical soul, which is basically late 60s till maybe the late 70s.
Right.
The bass was so prominent. It was like
absolutely.
It was a massive part of the mix.
Absolutely.
And which is ironic because like most of the time people didn't know who the bass player was. You know, nobody would write the name of the bass on their bassist. Now it was singer and the guitarist. The rest can
exactly right. You know, the rest are just along for the ride.
But you know, now we know who they were. Like people like, of course, Jameson.
Absolutely.
Of course, Bootsy, Larry, but also Willie Weeks, Chuck Rainey. All those guys were just phenomenal. Jerry Jamont.
Cool. Check it out. We've done 12 minutes.
Have we already? Flying.
I'd like to do a song with you. Is that cool?
Of course, baby.
Is that cool?
I'll send you my invoice later, of course.
Let's start off with... before we start.
Foreplay.
Before we start. You just can't jump into it. You got to ease into it. Before we start...
Alrighty.
As you know... every show, which this is my second show, I have a focus artist. You're my guest artist, I have a focus artist.
Good point, I'd forgotten already.
And the focus artist, drum roll, as I did on the last show, is the incomparable Mr. Stevie Wonder. Oh, yeah. So we're going to be doing some songs from Stevie today. And we hope that you're going to join in. And when you feel the need, please write in, comment. This is an online show, so you can comment in real time. And check it out.
Which one would you like to do first?
Let's Sabala Bibi Supi.
Yeah, alrighty.
We have a different way of doing it, but check it out. You're going to recognize it, we hope.
It's super. Whoa. Hello, volume. I see what's going on. All
right. You can snap your fingers and tap your toes. Soul-icious. Check it. Very superstitious. Writings on the wall. Very superstitious. Lighters about to fall. 13-month-old baby. He broke the looking glass. 7 years of bad luck, yeah. good things in your past. Check it. When you believe in things you don't understand, you're gonna suffer. A superstition ain't the way. Are you grooving out there? Second. Very superstitious. Oh, wash your face and hands. Very superstitious. Oh, I say the devil's on his way. Check it. 13-month-old baby. I said he broke the looking glass. I think it was 7 years they said I'd have bad luck. Told me my good things and my past. Check it. When you believe in things you don't understand, oh, you gon' suffer, yeah. Lord, it just ain't the way. Talk to me, Roddy. Now everybody out there clap your hands. Hey, hey, hey. You gotta feel it in your bones, baby. I said it's in your way, yeah. Superstition ain't the way. Superstition ain't the way. I said superstition ain't the way. No, 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 it just ain't the way. Superstition ain't the way. You better find another day. Superstition ain't the way. Ooh, superstition. I said it ain't the way. A superstition, Lord, I said it ain't the way. That's it. So, as you can see, this is what we do here. We do it. It's called Soul-icious, soul music that really feeds the soul. All right? So, speaking of feeding the soul, I also know that you are a very good, cheers, you're a very good cook too. And, and so I would like to delve a little bit into soul food, or what I would call soul food. And like I said, soul has many facets to it. So it's not just this soul, that soul. There are many, many places to go. So I'm looking at Vegemite. I did a little study right before I left home today on Vegemite because I wanted to be correct on it. Yep. So I heard that Vegemite actually started in England. Yeah. And then it came to Melbourne a little bit later after. But Melbourne, everybody knows Vegemite, of course, from the, was it UB40?
No, it was
who did it first?
Men at Work, the band.
Men at Work, excuse me. Yeah, they came up with
exactly that line.
And tell me something soulful about Vegemite and why I should eat it, just because I happen to be a vegetarian, and give me another reason other than just being a vegetarian.
Well, that's kind of the only reason, really.
I mean, as far as taste, I mean, explain to me the soul in Vegemite.
I mean, what can I say? If you grow up eating poo, you're going to go, oh, so good. Look at that. I want poo and toast. We all grow up with stuff and we're fond of it for absolutely no reason. By the way, this applies to music too. All right. I think we all have these sort of albums that we're kind of a bit embarrassed to tell other people about. Right. But you grow up with them and they're sort of like, they become dear to you for some reason. Exactly. And that's just the way it is. Right. So Vegemite is one of those things. I must say though, I really like it. But, and talking to all the, maybe, is that where the camera is? Everybody who might want to try it, it's not Nutella. Don't put too much. It's just a little bit toast, butter, just a tiny little bit, and that's it.
And I heard it's very, very salty.
It's very salty, and it is a really strong taste. It takes
it's like an acquired taste, would you say you would have to have?
Look, yeah, it has to be acquired when you're very little. Once you cross that line, then forget it.
It's like,
Very, very. I've only met one person who sort of like tasted it as an adult and then went, oh yeah, I want to eat this. But usually it doesn't happen. And the English one is called Marmite.
Exactly.
Australians normally laugh at the English version because it's super lame. It's like the light version. So it's, yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to music.
No worries.
Okay, bass playing, Australia. After you hooked up with these different bands, did you go on tour a lot?
I was, yeah, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was a lot on tour.
Okay.
And doing really different things, different people, different styles.
Okay.
And that, for me, when I'm doing that, I'm super happy.
Okay.
Because I really enjoy playing different things. I'm really nothing to do with the hustle and the money, and
exactly.
It's I love it. And even if as much as I love funk and soul, and I love jazz, and I love, for example, good rock and roll, or Afro-Cuban stuff, I could never choose from one. They're all my children.
Exactly.
It's like alcohol. They're all my children. I love them equally. So
as I asked the last guest, are you able to find soul in any genre of music that you play? And before you answer that,
all right,
answer this first. What does soul mean to you? Soul music, soul dress, soul attitude. What is the soul attitude, basically? What is that for you? What does that mean to you?
I should have prepared for this question.
I told you, I'm spontaneous, man. It's flowing like we're at on a park bench, just having a conversation.
Well, okay, it's a really good question. It's a really deep question. I'm not sure that I can answer it and do it justice with my answer.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, for me, basically, there's many sort of aspects to it where I can come to that. But something that's become really important to me as a musician, this is my 31st year, by the way, as a professional musician. So I'm still here. Thanks.
Hey.
But it's become really important, and I've lost my patience a little bit for. We're not allowed to swear, are we? By the way, better not.
It depends on which one.
Okay, crappy music. Let's just go. Music, and I'll try and. I'll try and.
The producer has fast hands. He can
just kind of security. But like stuff that doesn't come from an honest place.
Exactly.
And it's become increasingly important, the opposite, to make music that really means something.
Absolutely. Like not the commercial stuff because you want to get ratings or you want to this or that or whatever. It's like coming from the heart, Exactly. And people feel that more. People feel that. People understand it. Whether they, in the beginning, understand. They don't even have to understand the lyrics. That's the beautiful thing about soul music.
Right.
You don't even have to understand the lyrics, who wrote it, where it came from, how it was born, or anything. You just first have to feel it. And if you feel it, it's like, whoa, and all of those other things may come later. You might say, wow, what is this strange thing that's coming over me that I'm feeling? And I've never felt this before. It's almost like a, relationship type of, it is kind of a relationship, but man, woman, or man, woman, however you want to go. But anyway.
No, totally. And what you're saying is exactly right. I mean, almost to the point of saying that it's no accident that it's called soul music.
Absolutely.
It's superly aptly named.
It absolutely is.
It nails it, and it really, it's the epitome of stuff that's just, I must add, this is very personal, by the way. If I have a few drinks and I feel like dancing, when it does happen, I really only sort of like my body just reacts to either soul and funk. I can't explain it. That's the stuff that makes me want to move.
Right.
Rock and roll, I have to be absolutely written off. Afro-Cuban stuff too, but soul is just that thing that my body goes, hey, what's going on? Let's get up and do it.
That's true. I'll tell you this story real quick. I have a story to tell you about our guest, our focus artist, Stevie Wonder, in a minute. And I know the producer loves it too. I've told him, and you probably heard it too. But you haven't heard it, so I'm going to tell you in a minute. And we're going to also take some of your questions in a few minutes too.
Yeah, we have already some.
We have a lot of them. Geez, a lot of them, yeah. Woo. So, yes. What was I going to say? Right. So, I was invited to do a show as we've had this, in the mountains. I can't remember which mountain. It was Nestle or something.
Right.
And so we were doing songs, and we were trying to do songs that we had never done before. So this song, did you do what they told you? What you do what they told you.
Yeah.
And they really get into it.
That's Rage Against the Machine, I think.
Exactly. So I learned this song. Don't ask me to do it now. But I learned this song, and the cool thing about when you're doing something live, you really get to experience that immediate reaction.
Yeah.
That's happening. And so as I'm, the front man, I'm doing this song, and there were people out, and I had heard about I would call it mosh pit or something.
Yeah.
I had heard about that, but I had never seen it
right.
up close and personal. And it was just it was like the calm before the storm. They were like, do it. And they started looking at each other. You ready? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, what's about to happen? It's an explosion in it. Bob, and it's like they started bam and jumping up and hitting each other, head banging and bam. I saw one guy he got hit really hard and bam, boom, fell over, hit the trash can, fell down, hit his head. And I'm singing. I said, I hope this guy is okay. I hope he's still conscious and this and that. All of a sudden he just for after maybe 5 seconds, he shook it off, jumped up and said, yeah, man. And and so I'm saying all of that to say that helped me understand that soul music penetrates all genres. It's the feeling.
Yeah.
It's about the feeling.
Yeah.
Let's before we go, let's take some of these questions here.
Alrighty.
All right. Let's see. Let's see. Nice shirt, Reggie. On the artist we focusing on today. Okay, cool.
My shirt.
Okay, Yakari. Yeah, hi guys.
That's Jesse. Yakari.
That's Jesse.
Hi, Jesse.
That's Jesse. Okay, hey Jesse. In Chile, dance too intensely. Fall into the sea. All right. Appreciate the love. Wow. Love Stevie. Appreciate the love.
Here's a question.
All right. Great sound. How much do you improvise? Oh, that's a good one. And music in general, how much does it have to be planned, and how much improvisation happens on stage? And that's a really good question.
That's a really good question.
Because the thing is that I find, and I'm sure you have your own story, I'm doing quite a bit of improvisation,
of course,
and living on stage. Because it's if you see a show that I do today, if you come to this show tomorrow, it's not going to be the same type of show. And you're going to get different type, but you're still going to feel that soul. You're still going to feel that type of thing. And tell me about how you feel on the stage.
Exactly the same. To tell you the truth, that's kind of my favorite, generally speaking, favorite type of situation.
Right.
That's why I love playing with you so much, actually.
Thank you.
No worries. But basically, normally you prepare enough of the song, roughly like a structure, like a plan.
Right.
But it's like the skeleton. You have to still kind of fill it up with the flesh kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Flesh it up.
Right.
And so, for example, there's so many elements. Like if we're doing a gig with Reggie and we play a song that we've played before, could be a Stevie song, James Brown song, or another funky soul tune, and the crowd is reacting in a certain way, and we are kind of in a mood, then we just might bring it down and just stay there for a while.
Absolutely.
And then that builds up and it goes in a different direction. We go, oh, let's go there. So it's very very much, and this is, for example, also the way I think about it when I play jazz, being in the moment. Oh, I'm looking at there. I should be looking there. Sorry.
Exactly.
Being in the moment.
Right.
Hi, Mom. So this is, but not every band works like this. Very often, in, for example, the pop world, they'll have every single little last detail worked out beforehand, and you know, everything in between. But my favorite situation is like that. To have more or less a plan, but then have the freedom to see where it goes.
And you know what's interesting about that, I find, not only playing with you, playing with other members, I can count them on my fingers, maybe 4 of them, that it's interesting when we get into that zone, of which I call the groove.
Right.
And this is what I always look for. I'm always looking for the groove. Whether we catch it in the beginning, sometimes we catch it in the middle, or hopefully before the middle, because that's the safe zone. That's the place where you can grow, you can try things, and how can I say, improvise, like the person said here. And what's interesting is that we end up all on the same accord.
Right.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
To me, that's almost like a miracle, because it's like, this is not something that we rehearsed.
Right.
I mean, what's rehearsal?
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, but rehearsal, please somebody send me the definition of rehearsal.
Somebody asked you a
haven't
question
done
about
that in a while. But yeah, that we are things that are unrehearsed. And I believe it's because we have the same mindset.
Right.
That we're able to find and we're not even like, you know, it's not even like a, how can I say, a mental, you know, calculated type of, you know, EX, you know, this, whatever. We just find that same accord, you know, and we know it. We know it. We don't even have to like say anything. We look at each other and we're like,
Totally. And I think that musicians that are like that are usually attracted to each other and end up playing together.
This is true.
And then it just flies. You know, you feel like you can go anywhere.
This is true.
And especially, I mean, I'll just make a quick point. I know I'm talking a lot.
No, go for it. Go for it.
You know, especially being the bass player, I was talking, I mean, most people don't really know what the bass is. They kind of, you know, they figure it looks like a guitar, or the other one looks like a big violin. But they don't really know. So this is one of the reasons why I was attracted to soul music, where it's quite prominent. But they don't really know what it is. And it's one of those things that if you take the bass out of the mix, you know, you leave it just like the drums and the guitar, they go, oh.
You miss it.
You miss it, yeah.
No, you didn't know it, but
exactly.
You miss it when
it sounds
gone.
A bit thin, a bit two-dimensional. You're missing the meat and potatoes. Oh, sorry, how anachronistic of me. The potatoes and the, I can't believe it's not meat, truffle meatballs. You know, it just sounds thin, and then you put the bass back on and you go, that's what the bass does. It's sort of like, makes it three-dimensional. But in soul, it's much more than that. I mean, it's not only adding that layer of not meat, it's also like you have the freedom to push the groove or to lay back, you know what I mean? The drummer can, for example, play something like
right,
and I can just go
exactly, really laid back, and you're really in the cut.
Right. Push. I'm the one basically deciding how much we're going to push or lay back, and the drummer's just there, kind of like sort of we're partners kind of thing, and then everything else comes on top. And this is something for me makes sense with the way my musicality works.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the way you play the bass, it's almost as if you are a percussionist in some ways. You are able to do just the normal straight bass thing. But I like the other Roddy. Personally, that's my taste. Yeah. But what I want to say is also, speaking of someone that is known for playing a certain instrument live today, which is our focus artist. I want to talk more about him.
Of course.
Mr. Stevie Wonder. He also, from what I know, did he start with the drums too?
Yeah.
He started with the drums.
I'm not sure if it was drums exclusively and then keyboards, harmonica.
You don't know what was first, but I know we know he played the drums.
Exactly.
We know he pretty much played every instrument on his album. So
it's an incredible bassist still with his hands.
Absolutely, amazing. Yeah, amazing. So, back again with the feeling of soul.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to see it to feel it, if you know what I mean.
Totally, yeah.
Tell me how Stevie actually was a part of your life. When were you first introduced to Stevie Wonder?
Well, I mean, I knew Stevie's famous pop songs that were on the radio, and I always loved them.
Okay.
I mean, and there was so many things to love for me. His voice, first of all. And he's a freak. I mean, he still sounds like that.
Amazing.
One of the few who, as he got older, the voice just stayed the same.
Absolutely.
But then there was that groove that was unusual. The groove in I Wish, for example.
Right.
Where do you find that? Nowhere. It's this really swung, not swung kind of thing that he does. His chords, and you know, I'm a chords man. We've talked about this before.
Right.
I'm wearing my jeans today, but normally I love chords.
Right.
And there's Stevie chords that are so special. The way he put.
Once you hear it, you know it. It's like, you know, you don't have to ask the question.
At the same time, so many people that write songs usually end up falling back on. They have a sound, they have a formula.
Right.
And Stevie can write so many different songs.
Absolutely.
I mean, from Another Star all the way to Sir Duke.
Right. Exactly.
Incredibly,
vast differences, but actually Stevie's there.
Yeah, exactly. It has that Stevie thread running through it. So yeah, Stevie's incredible. Plus, the sheer volume of ridiculously good songs, man. It's just.
Isn't he one of the most prolific songwriters that we've ever known?
I mean, yeah, I would have to say.
In any genre, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there are people out there who wrote many songs.
Right, but I say that's why I said one of the most.
Yeah, but what I mean is like that many amazing songs. It's not just write. I could write 5 songs a day, but you know, not even my cats are gonna like it. You know?
Meow.
Yeah.
Meow. Meow.
Come back.
Meow.
I got milk.
But okay, so Stevie, you were first attracted to him. Can you remember your first Stevie song?
The first Stevie song that really, really blew me away was Do I Do. Because I was quite young and I loved the groove. And I was into jazz back then and playing saxophone.
Right.
And it's got Dizzy doing a solo.
Exactly right.
And he introduces him. It's so cute. Like Stevie's really proud to have Dizzy, very famous jazz trumpet player for us.
Absolutely.
And he says, ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure of presenting on my album, Mr. Dizzy Gillespie. And then he plays a solo. It's great.
Wow.
But what a song.
Yeah.
And that song, as you well know it,
right.
It's a full jam. They just jam and
That's
jam.
it, right, absolutely.
And then he says on the mic he doesn't know how to end the song, and then the drums just stop, and it's the end.
But I mean, if you think about it, a lot of soul music is really, honestly, if you really think about it, soul music in its own self, like the genre of soul music, it's pretty much like one big party, man.
Yeah, man.
It's like a big jam. It's like a block party. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, hey, I'm inviting some friends over. You know, you bring your friends over, and we're just gonna have a block party and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have some more questions here.
We do.
Are you planning to release some weekly Soulicious playlists? All right. So we can keep tasting your soul during the week. That's a really good idea, and I like good ideas, and I'm gonna take that idea. And we will be doing that. We will be doing it. Nice work. You should invite, who is this? Ignatius. Okay, all right. Let me know, Ignatius, whoever you are. What is the secret? Who was that?
That's Polly. Hi, Polly.
Wait. Who was that, and whom are you referring to? There are 2 of us up here.
That's a Vegemite.
It must be Roddy. That's a basic.
That's a Vegemite eater right there.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Seid super aus. Danke, merci. Sieht super aus, genau. Yeah, so I think this is a perfect time to tell you my story.
Tell me
I'm going to
story.
tell you my story out there, my beautiful people out there in the Phuket world, TV world. I encountered Stevie Wonder at a function.
I'm going to play background music.
Please do that. Yes, it deserves it. It really does. So I encountered Stevie Wonder at a function in Los Angeles. I went to it was pretty much like a Grammy Award show, and it's called the NAACP Black Image Awards. So I went there with my mom, and we walked down the red carpet, and we did all of those things. I could tell you more, but time is ticking. So after that, we come back to this place called Marla's Inn. And she was a very famous actress, did a lot of shows, The Jeffersons. She was the maid on The Jeffersons. And so she had this inn where everybody would come after the show and eat and talk and just, get together. So there was a little stage in this room, in this hotel or whatever you want to call it, or big restaurant. And I had heard through the grapevine, segue there, Marvin Gaye, that sometimes there were artists that actually come on the stage, to sing, very famous artists. And so, I wasn't really expecting anything. I'm just enjoying the time with my mom. And then all of a sudden, I see these two men walk in. And one man is holding the other man's arm. And I don't know why, but immediately it clicked in my mind. I said, that's Stevie Wonder. And when you get excited, I don't know if it's a Southern thing or a black Southern thing.
You just can't hide it.
But all of a sudden, we'll be talking like normal, and we get excited, and all of a sudden our voices get high. Yeah, and that's oh, that's Stevie Wonder! Oh my God! So I don't know why, but anyway, it's maybe it's a soul thing. So we can all do that. So anyway, I told my mom. I said, "Mom, that's Stevie Wonder," and she said, "Yes, son. Okay, he's just another person like anybody else. He's a human like anybody else." And I'm saying, "Mom, apparently you don't know who he is.
No.
He's not a human like anybody else, So I asked my mom. I said, "Mom, could you please give me do you have a pen and a piece of paper?" So she gave me a pen and a napkin, and I started writing. And she says, "Well, who are you writing to? To whom are you writing to?" And I said, "I'm writing to Stevie Wonder." And she paused a bit, and she said, she thought I had maybe lost my mind. And she said, "Son, you do know Stevie is blind, right?" And I said, "Yeah, Ma, I know he's blind, yes, but this is to his brother, because I knew that was his brother. It was known that his brother is the one that's helping him around."
Right.
So I said, "I'm going to give the note to his brother just in case Stevie doesn't want to be bothered or talked to or whatever." So I walk over to the table. I already knew I was going over. I said, "Hey, royalty is that close to me?"
Yeah, you have to.
Hey, there's no question.
You gotta.
So I walked over and I went to his brother and I said, "Hello, excuse me. My name is Reggie Saunders. I'm an inspiring artist, and I would like to talk to Mr. Wonder." I'm sure I didn't say Stevie, but everybody's saying Stevie, but I'm sure I said Mr. Wonder. So his brother leans over to Stevie. "This guy wants to talk to you." And Stevie said, "Yeah, sure, yeah. I can't do a Stevie voice, but yes."
I really wish you would.
"Yeah, man, yeah. Come on, let me talk. Okay, I don't want to, embarrass myself. So it was like, the Hard Rock Cafe where they have booths.
Yeah, right.
So I'm sitting here, Stevie's sitting here. Umpteen Grammys, one of the most prolific songwriters in the world. A voice like clean china, soulful, delicious, tasteful, scrumptious, and I'm sitting beside him. Do you know, I'm sure you know, there was nobody else in the room for me. Everybody had left the building, including Elvis. And I'm sitting in the room with Stevie Wonder. So I asked Stevie, I said, "Mr. Wonder, could you please tell me how is it that you've been able to stay not only abreast of new music, but you've been able to also expand on your music too, and how have you been able to grow and stay in line with the times?"
Wow.
I'll never forget this answer he said. He said, "Because of my strong determination and my deep faith in God. This is what has kept me on this path. And my interest and always getting better, learning, continuing. So I said, okay, great. So then I said, could you give me, as we would say, a boon or maybe some gift, if you will, of how I can maybe follow in your path or follow in that footstep of advancing, of growing as an artist. Now I'll never forget this. I don't know if you can get this on camera. Give me your hand. The hand like this. You remember how we used to do with the hands? And I put my hand down here like this.
And then you do that thing.
Put the hand and the hand back on top.
Mm-hmm.
Now keep your hand
I
down.
don't know. Sorry.
Got to keep the soul feeling.
Oh, yeah.
So you feel that energy going between us?
Right.
Okay. So he said to me, without even looking at me, that was bad. He said to me, cut that out. He said to me, if your singing is as strong as your personality, you will be a great success in the music business. So I let my hand under his hand a little bit longer, and then I went like this, and I said, thank you very much for your time, and I'm very honored. Thank you so much. And then I floated back to my table, so that was pretty much the story.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder.
Amazing story.
And true.
How old were you when you asked him this?
Geez, that was what? Like mid-20s maybe?
It's amazing that you thought what a deep question, because you could have asked, do you often change your sunny? So is it the same ones?
Right. Exactly, because and I believe the reason that came up was because to me this was a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yep.
Who meets Stevie Wonder walking down the street to a Migros, a Cope, or a Subway, or anywhere,
Yep.
Nobody does.
Yep.
I mean, maybe some people do. I don't. So, and this close, so I had to take the opportunity.
You had to, man.
Okay. So, let me answer a couple more questions, and then we're going to go to a song real quick. Okay, all right. We need a weekly. All right, I got you covered. We're going to do that for sure.
Playlist, yeah.
So, okay, let's do another song.
Yep.
All right.
And while we go into the song, a bit of trivia.
Okay.
Some people may know this. Stevie, I always assume his name was Steven, but it's not. Do you know what it is? His actual name.
I just saw it and I'd go ahead.
Steve Land. Steve Land.
Steve Land.
Land,
okay,
which is so apt because you go into his world.
There
when
you go.
You
and that's probably what came with the Wonder.
Yeah, Steve Land.
See how things
which is a pretty cool name, and I've never really heard of anybody else having that name. So, Steve Land.
Beautiful. All right, so let's do another one by Stevie real quick.
Which one would you like to do, my mate?
Okay, we did Soupy. Oh, Lately.
Alrighty.
Let's try Lately.
Alrighty.
Lately I have had the strangest feeling, picking me apart, trying to find myself no reason with your heart. Far more frequently you're wearing perfume, and which you say no special place to go. But when I ask will you be coming back soon, you don't know, never know. Well, I'm a man of many wishes. I hope my premonition misses, But what I really feel, my eyes won't let me hide, 'cause they always start to cry. Far more frequently, you're wearing perfume, but which you say, no special place to go. But when I ask, will you be coming back soon? You don't know, you never know. Say, we're gonna get it. Let's go back. Verse. Far more frequently, you're wearing perfume. Improvisation. Would you say, no special place to go? But when I ask, will you be coming back soon? You don't know, never know. Well, I'm a man of many wishes. I hope my premonition misses. But what I really feel, my eyes won't let me hide, 'cause they always start to cry. Yeah. 'Cause this time could mean goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, I'm a man of many wishes. I hope my premonition misses. But what I really feel, my eyes won't let me hide, 'cause they always start to cry. 'Cause this time could mean goodbye. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's see. Roddy rocks. Roddy rocks. That's right. Roddy rocks, man.
I don't know who you are, but I want to know who you are.
I know who he is. Oh, wow. Magic. What can you do with
Thanks,
four
Bobby.
strings, Roddy? Wow.
Chat to you later.
So, okay, we only have a few more minutes left.
Yeah.
So, I really want to say, honestly, as I said before, I feel like this has been a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
And you are, to me, you're one of the most sought after, not only to me, but I know you're one of the most sought after bass players, not only in Switzerland, but I believe the whole of Europe. And I'm sure back in your homeland in Australia, where when you go back, people are saying, Roddy, come play with me, come play with me.
Those bastards have forgotten me.
I'm sure that's not true. So,
Thanks, man.
you are, you definitely have a seat in my heart in the soul section of my heart.
Velvet Lounge.
Exactly, right. You know, imagine Jimi Hendrix, with the velvet jacket on. You're sitting in the seat, and that's your cut.
Yeah.
Your name is on the board right there, Roddy.
Cool. I dig it. Thanks.
And I hope you've enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed it?
Very much. I mean, this is, I want to say, we kind of have these types of hangs anyway.
Right.
It's really fun to do it with our producer. And
Absolutely. Shout out to Gustavo. Yes, clap. Hey. Yes. For which this would not have been possible. And it's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. So, as I said, I'll be doing this every Friday from 2 to 3 o'clock. And I really hope all of you come back. And please, when you come back, don't come back alone. Bring about 500 of your best friends, and even some of your friends that you might want to, people that you may not even know that want to be your friend. But if you would invite them to come join you on the show, you might make a new friend. Mm-hmm. That's the beautiful thing about soul music, soul attitude. It brings people together. All right. So I'm your host with the most, Reggie Saunders. This has been Soul-icious, but please don't go. We have a few more minutes, and we're going to try to get in one more song. Can we do that? Can we do that? I see the shaking of the head. That means the soul is still in the house. Hey, soul in the house. All right, so we're going to get one more in. But before we go, let me see if I can get one more. What is this here? Yes. Give me a line here. Give me a line. Highlight it for me. I was blinded by the light. All right. I can't even see it. Okay. Can you read that?
Yeah, I want to prep some soul food for you and your guests, Reggie. Hi.
Who is that?
Need something on the table besides water.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah. Thank you.
You got it. Hey, this is Lilac, a very good friend of ours, and she can throw down. Trust me. She knows how to cook some soul food. I've had it, and it says so good. Yes, Sir Duke.
Of course, Reggie and I will show up with our own little bottles of chili sauce anyway.
Absolutely.
In our bag.
Gotta spice it up.
We do that.
Spice it up. Yeah. Cool. All right. So for this last song, all right, please join in next Friday, 2 to 3 o'clock. This is Soul-icious. I'm your host with the most, Reggie Saunders. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And please spread the word. We're out there. We're making moves, and we're trying to bring people together, build bridges. Don't break them down. All right.
I'd like to dedicate this song to Larry, who told me he's going to be tuning in, actually.
Yes, absolutely. My next guest, I can give a shout out to my next guest, will be the incomparable Mr. Larry Woodley. And he has stories, as we say, up the yin yang and the bing bang and the ching chang. So I'll translate to you later.
Yeah, we have subtitles.
So please join in. It's going to be amazing. All right, let's go. Come on, y'all. Stand up. I want to see you standing up out there. Come on. Get up. Get. The Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild West. Check it. Looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed boy. And my only worry was for Christmas what would be my toy. Even though we sometimes would not get a thing, we were happy with the joy that they would bring. Sneaking out the back door, hang out with those hoodlum friends of mine. Mama screaming out the back door, Reggie, you better bring your butt back inside. Check it out. Trying to bet Sabrina, water to your eyes, hoping it might stop from whipping you behind. Wish those days would come back once more. Why did those days ever have to go? Said I wish those days would come back once more. Why did those days ever have to? I said I love so I should do. Should do the second verse. Woo! Brother says he's telling about you playing doctor with that girl. Come on. Don't you tell I'm gonna give you anything you want, in this whole wide world. What you want? Candy? Money? Mama gives you money for Sunday school. Trade yours for candy out the church is through. Smoking cigarettes and writing something nasty on the wall. Well, you nasty boy. Teacher sends you to the principal's office where, it's down the hall. Come on. Grow up and learn that kind of thing ain't right. Why you doing it? Sure feel out of sight. Wish those days would come back once more. Why did those days ever have to go? Said I wish those days would come back once more. Why did those days? Tell me why did they ever have to? I said I love them so. She do 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 do. She do 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 do. I do it 2 more times. She do 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 do. She do. Give me some background. All right, so we want to say thank you very much. This has been the second show of Soul-icious. I am your host with the most, Reggie Saunders. So every Friday in your life, I want to see you right here on this Soul-icious Soul Show Mobile Soul-icious channel. Right now, you have been introduced to the soul of life. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next Friday, 2 to 3, Soul-icious. And we out of here. Peace. Yeah.